So today there's going to be several different videos for you to watch and understand. Alright, I know it's going to be kind of a lot of material, but there's only going to be one worksheet at the end of it all, so stay with me through all the videos and then finish the worksheet to check your understanding. So today we're going to be talking about Lewis dot structures and formal charges. So first we're going to learn how to figure out the formal charge from a Lewis dot structure. So you can pause the video if you want to write down the little notes that I made and write down these examples down here. Otherwise I'm going to keep going. So two notes before we get started. The first one is this note over here, that each dot in our Lewis dots, each one of these dots represents one electron. Each one of these lines represents 2 electrons. It's a bond. To figure out our formal charge, we're going to have to figure out the number of valence electrons the element normally has and the number of electrons present around that element. So let's get started. It'll make more sense as we go. So we have BR. So we're going to have 2 BRs. So if we're trying to figure out the formal charge of our first BR, of this one right here, we know that BR on your periodic table, if you pull that out, I'd have it out for this activity. Pull it out, look at it. BR normally has 7 valence electrons. So that is the beginning. Our formal charge is going to equal 7. We're talking about this one right here, valence electrons first. So it has 7 valence electrons. Now we need to minus it by the number of electrons present around BR. So BR has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons, and then it's in this bond that has 2 electrons. It's bonded though between one BR and another BR, so the electrons are shared. So really this BR has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just this 7. Because we're not going to count the electron twice for both of them, so this BR is going to get 1, this other BR is going to get another one when we count it there. So this one just has 7 different electrons around it. So for this, it's going to be BR7 minus 7. So this one has a formal charge of 0. Now if we do this other one, we get BR. It normally has 7 valence electrons. Then we count the electrons around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this one right here, 7. So it's also going to be 7 minus 7. 0 electrons. All right, let's look at our next example. Let's go to the right. And we're going to be looking at C's and H's and deciding if it has a formal charge or not. So let's start with our H's. We can knock all of them out in one go. Remember, in this bond right here, there's going to be an electron here and an electron here. All right. So that will help us figure out these H's. So H's normally have 1 valence electron. So we're going to minus it by the number of electrons present around it. So this H just has that one. So it's going to be 1 minus 1. It's going to be 0. If we do the H down here, it normally has 1 valence electron. It just has 1 electron by it, so it also is going to have a charge of 0. Finally, this H over here, it normally has 1 valence electron. It has 1 electron around it, so it's going to have a charge of 0. Now let's do our C. So our C normally is supposed to have 4 valence electrons. Now around it, it has 1, 2, 3. Just 3. So it's going to be 4 minus 3. And it's going to have a 1 charge. Now you notice it's not a negative in front of it, so it's a positive 1. So C is going to have a plus 1 charge. So you can either do plus or a plus 1 charge by your C. So there's your formal charge for C. Okay, let's go down to the bottom one down here with this N's and the O's. Let's start with the N. So N, on your periodic table, you see it normally is supposed to have 5 valence electrons around it. Let me highlight our bonds again or get our little electrons in there. Alright, so N has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 minus 5 is 0, so N has no formal charge on it. Now let's do our O. Let's do this one right here. So O normally has 6 valence electrons. This O is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So it's going to be 6 minus 7, so it's going to be a negative 1. So there's a negative charge by this O. If we do the other O, this one underneath it, is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 valence electrons. So it normally has 6. It's going to have 7. So it's also going to have a negative 1 charge. So this O is also going to be negative. Finally, the last O normally has 6 valence electrons. It actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So 6 minus 7. And it's going to equal negative 1. So it also has a negative charge by it. Alright, so that's how you're going to figure out the formal charge. Part of your homework is going to be figuring out the formal charges of, given a molecule, you're going to have to look at it and figure out the formal charge of each of the elements. So hopefully this video helps make that clear. Hopefully I'll have time in the next couple of days to do a couple homework problems and post a video about that. So keep your eyes out for that. Otherwise, good luck with your homework and reach out to me if you have any questions.